Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, Amanda T, here on Create Your Future. I am so grateful you're here. I intend that you all like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. Before I dive into this video on recreating your specific person, I would like to remind you I am 50% off one-on-one coaching, and please check out our free course on how to get past those blocks and manifest anything quickly. So you guys, oh, wait, success stories first. Personally, SP has been showing up more and more, just coming over, just wanting to see me, wanting to spend time with me. Also, my clients, their SPs, especially while we're in session, their SPs are showing up in order to, they're texting them, they're calling them. I remember one specifically, SP must have called like was calling, texting, trying to get, and she's like, I'm busy right now. The other one spent like a half an hour talking to my client's mom on the phone, trying to wait for our session to be over, trying to talk to my client and stuff like that. So SPs are just coming out of the woodwork, y'all. All right, so when we are recreating our specific person, it is very important that we do two things, because otherwise mental diet and affirmations, that sort of thing, that's standard, right? You guys really understand that. I'm still going to go over it, but the most important part to recreating your specific person is going to be killing the old story and just allowing it to die, not allowing, this is different than like non-reacting and stuff like that, but it is non-reacting to a whole other level, because anything that's going to trigger you is probably going to be attached to the old story. So you really have to be ready, prepared to let that go. Like you want to be, when you're thinking about your new story, it's Christmas Day and you're ripping open those packages or whatever you celebrate, or birthday, whatever was the best day for you. It literally has to be kind of like night and day. That's how I found it to be the most easy. So for example, if SP's really hot and cold, or they're unsure about me, or there's a 3P, okay, I understand my blocks. I understand the issues that are in the way. I understand what is triggering me, right? Some things are very black and white. That's how. So for example, if someone is kind of, I'm going to use these terms and labels just for this example, but if they're kind of stringing you along and breadcrumbing you and stuff like that, you are actually really going to want to detach from that person. That's not the person you want to be with. That should be really easy to just say, okay, well, we're still communicating, we're still talking, but my expectations are so low right now because I'm waiting for them. I'm waiting for Christmas, right? I'm going to be changing everything. So that doesn't need to bother me right now. It just doesn't need to, versus like, I still don't want people to become like doormats and things like that, but you get what I'm saying? Like, just don't let it bother you. Okay, whatever works for you, babe. Glad you're happy, type thing, while you're specifically recreating them. So the first thing is you have to kill the old story. You have to let go of resentment. You have to let go of disappointment. You have to let go of the expectations for what was, which can sometimes leave you kind of grieving what could have been at that time. But you know what? That's okay, because we're going to get you what should have been the whole time. So you're going to drop that person. You're just going to kind of drop them. You know their name. You know they're the hologram of SP, right? But they're not filled with the right stuff at this particular moment. It's just gotten a little muddled waters. It's a little muddy in there. So the old story needs to go, because we don't actually want that specific person. They're in the shell we want, but they're not treating us the way we deserve. And what do we deserve and what do we want? So once the old story is dead, we then make a list of the things that are the opposite. If they're not showing up, well, now we're inseparable. They want to spend every single day with me. If, they're not communicating, they've learned while the 3D is conforming. Now that could be anywhere from 2 days to 2 weeks, you guys, depending on how fast and how much you believe the new story, and also working with your coaches through those blocks and limiting beliefs. So, but the point is that if you believe that they have learned that not communicating does not work for the relationship, or has maybe hurt the relationship, because you are filling them, everyone as you pushed out, with these feelings, with these emotions, with this understanding, with these realizations of what it actually means, what it should be to be in a relationship with you, the subscriber, the client, me, the individual, right? And so we take our list and we make a list of the things that we do want, and none of the old exists. That was an old relationship. It was literally in the past, and you want to leave it there. Take good memories. I always suggest that you want to take good memories, especially because they act as a stop to limiting beliefs and things. You want to take that with you, but just like say if you actually broke up and we're never going to talk to this person again, you don't want to be like wallowing. You take what's good for you and leave the rest. That's exactly when you're recreating a person. You're going to take the good and you're going to leave the rest. You're going to script what the best is. And now this can be really difficult now that we've killed the old story, building the new story up, because a lot of people have not recreated specific people, so they don't get that validation on the other side. I wish I had my phone with me. I have some texts and things I actually shared with a client. I was like, here's some 3D validation for you. Here are these people that I haven't talked to. And the amount of times they're like, it's so great to hear from you. This is incredible. Like, I will do any, can I start over again? I'd really like another chance. I've learned all these lessons. So it really can happen. The thing is, so you guys, there's this phenomenon, if you are not just a person who like goes and likes caves, but like an actual, like a person who documents them, like that would be your job. I don't know what it is. I was watching a documentary on it. Anyways, the point is that even these experienced cave people, they'll go so deep and it's so different. My brain was like, kind of like Utah. If you've ever been there, it's like so different from like Texas or Seattle or something like that. Anyways, but your brain, you'll go into the cave and you get so low where nothing is the same. There is nothing on the earth at that plane that like you're used to seeing. And so they'll go into this like delirious state and they can start to panic because they can't predict what's next. Your brain is fueled to do that. Take what it is and spit out from the subconscious, spit it out. And when it's there in those circumstances in the 3D and you're in this cave, you literally can't predict what's happening next and you start to panic. That's kind of what happens here. Is that you are trying to predict what's happened next, but you lack faith. You lack, like I said, that 3D validation from doing it before. That's why coaching is such a big deal, because we can really prove to you that these people can change. So just because you can't see it does not mean it's not possible. So you want to be practicing your visualizations, because I can see myself being crowned the Queen of England, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what I'm manifesting for. That's possible. That is just pure imagination. That's just pure playtime in my head. Can I see it? Yes. But do I see it as a manifestation on a loop that is actually going to be in the trajectory of my life timeline and stuff like that? That's going to be different. We want to focus on what we can actually see, putting forward in our path. We are creating our future. So just because you don't know what to expect because you've never done it before, well, you have done it before once you're on the other end of it, because we're creating it. But the point is that if you lack that external validation, you can get to the other side. Nothing is too good to be true. It's like taking a kid to Disneyland. It's like Christmas Day. It's like, oh my God, I had no idea things could be this good. They can be that good. They can completely change into, completely different people and stuff like that, who validate you and support you and just want to be around you all the time, completely inseparable. I remember one time I had this one SP. He was my first, I think he was the first person I recreated. This was a while ago, you guys, you guys. And we had a horrible breakup. And I'm not going to lie, he was such a jerk at the time. But I was so in love with him, and I just believed that we could have this other path, that we could have this other future. Everything that I had dreamed that had kind of sunk, like the Titanic, I was like, no, I'm sure it exists. I'm sure we can have it. We can work through anything, as long as we communicate, any problem can be solved, love will bring it all the way, which sounds so just corny, and cringy, but it's also the truth. And my believing that allowed this person came back in my life. There was no 3P. We were completely inseparable, to the point one time we were at the movies and he would not stop kissing my hand. Watching this movie, to the point where I was like, do you need a binky or something? Can I get you something? Give me my hand back. I was so annoyed and irritated this time. And I just was like, no. He was a little too in love with me after that. I was like, it's too much attention. So you can literally have it like running dry as a desert, and then, you know, you're just flooded with love and affection and words of affirmation and, you know, everything you ever wanted. But you have to believe that it's possible, even if you've never seen it before. You have to believe that, you know, true love went out. The cheesier, the cornier, the cringier it is, probably the more true it is, to be honest. So make sure that you're doing your affirmations. Make sure that you're keeping your mental diet. When you really decide to recreate a person, you can't be swinging back and forth. That's how you create hot and cold behavior. It's one of the ways, based on the parameters of what relationship you were in, things like that. But you know, you can't be going back and forth. There has to be like an ending. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a physical ending. It can just be a mental ending to what was happening, to what sort of relationship was happening, to what sort of people they were being, and to what is possible. It's okay if you see all of their potential, but it's not really showing up in the 3D now. You can have it show up. I'm thinking of someone who was once literally like couch surfing, and within 6 months they were in Hawaii on vacation. Anything is possible, you guys. Life can change for yourself and for your SPs. I intend that this video helps. I love you all so much. Bye-bye.